Hello, fellow human light beings. This is Mahadeva, the Thunder Wizard. Welcome back to the channel. This is the solar flash update for December 17th. And getting another round of intense solar storms hitting the Earth. A bunch of them piling up together. And they're going to be hitting the Earth over the next few days. I can speak for myself. I'm having strong Ascension symptoms, and I'm getting messages from a lot of other people who are also having very powerful Ascension symptoms. So we will take a look at that together. So if you're new to the channel, my computer's overheating. Very annoying. If you're new to the channel, there are some things that I need you to do right now before you do anything else. So go to the Thunder Wizard channel.com channel where you are now, of course, and subscribe, like, and comment. Then go to the playlists section. Click on the following playlists. 3 playlists: the Maoshan Qigong, the Interdimensional Meditation, and the 12 Steps to 5D. Do at least one thing from those playlists every day. At least one thing from one of the playlists. If you can do one thing from all 3, even better. And then go to thunderwizard.com, the website, subscribe to the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong, follow the instructions. I guarantee you, if you just press play and follow the instructions, you will experience strong, energetic, emotional, psychological, spiritual shifting. You can unsubscribe whenever you want, so you really have nothing to lose. I'd be well within my rights to charge thousands of dollars for that, but I'm giving as much stuff away as I can for free. And also, what I think is going to be important is, especially now with all of the Ascension symptoms that are hitting people as strongly as they are, you cannot do this thing alone. You can't. You need to have guidance. You need to have help. You need to be talking with somebody, especially if you're doing the interdimensional meditations and you are interacting with these higher dimensional beings. Your reality is going to get completely just blown out of proportion from what you've understood. And it's going to be difficult, I can tell you from personal experience, it's going to be difficult trying to live with that shift without talking to somebody who understands it. And the people who are going through the Ascension along with the higher dimensional beings, working directly with them, these are the first of the new species. Because when you're interacting with higher dimensional energy, one thing that is guaranteed to happen is your DNA is going to change. There's going to be dormant DNA is going to start to get flipped on. Other DNA that you're not going to need in higher dimensions is going to get turned off, and you are going to feel different. So right now, the struggle that we are calling Ascension symptoms, I also call them resistance symptoms, because your 3D mind is trying to resist this shift. These are really, there's a battle inside of you between what we call 5D and this third dimensional reality. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff that I want to talk to you about, but let me just remind you. I know I'm reminding you of things that I've already talked about, but listen, action is what's important. If you want to know how the brain changes, and we have to change our brain, we have to change our thinking. The only way that that happens is with consistent, disciplined, repetitive action. That's the only thing that will change your brain. Sitting around thinking about things, even contemplating things, watching videos, the only thing those do, including my videos, is to inspire you to take the actions to shift. If you don't do anything if you don't take any actions, nothing's going to change. The wiring in your brain will not change. So let's take a look at things that you can do. So the first thing, we talked about this, 5 things you can do, is to check to see if any of your anxiety that you're feeling is coming from the current situation. Just take a moment. I'm doing this today. I've been doing it all day repeatedly. What my brain wants to do, there are people in my life who, as I've shared before, because as it turns out, these are people who are not taking any action towards shifting. They're not taking any action towards following their soul. And so they're getting hit with this energy and they are flipping out. And I'm a convenient target for them because I represent taking action and shifting, and this is threatening to their status quo, so they come after me. So what's been going on for me today, I woke up, felt the intense energy. The first thing that my brain wants to do is start to get into a mental fight about, who says this and why they're saying that and where they're wrong. And, again, remember that this, our third dimensional brain wants to live in the past. It doesn't know how to live in the present or the future. So what I've been doing is I've been stopping and I've been going, hang on a second, this uncomfortable feeling that I'm having, does this have anything to do with this person? No, this person isn't powerful enough to create this level of discomfort. Is there anything going on in my life? And if I sit here right now, as I think about it, fears of the future start popping up. What am I going to do in a month? And what if I go broke? What about this and what about that? And none of those things have ever come true ever. And there's no indication that they're going to come true now. In fact, what is seeming to come true is that what I focus my intention on is what manifests. We're getting hit with a lot of thunderstorms here. I'm in Australia, so we're heading into the rainy season, and very hot and muggy, and really intense thunderstorms. And the power went out last night while I was cooking my dinner in the oven. It was very inconvenient, and I didn't know how long it was going to last. And I said, I'm going to try my newfound higher dimensional abilities. And I closed my eyes and I went to a place that I was shown I could go if I wanted to actually create reality. And I decided that the power was going to come back on. And that's all I did. I just decided that the power was going to come back on. Within a few seconds, the power was back on. Now, we could talk about whether or not that means anything or not. But at the very least, it got me out of, feeling the normal feeling sorry for yourself and powerless and all the rest of that. And I do believe that we are coming to these places where we can manifest instantly what we're projecting, what we are expecting, what we're focusing on. Now, in order to be able to focus on, this ability to shift your reality, you're going to have to clean out the old patterns inside of you. And this is where the action comes in. This is where doing the 90-day challenge is all about. You want to know what is the point of the 90-day challenge? You want to know what the point of all the Maoshan practices are? Is to give you the power to clean out your hard drive. Meaning you're no longer triggered by old events. You're changing your identity so you no longer identify with all of those wounds, all of that trauma, all of that victim mentality. That is the third dimension. The third dimension is programming you to do that. That's what keeps you at the frequency of 3D, thinking about the past, responding to the past, projecting past fears into the future, projecting past wounds into the future. This is the third dimensional mind, and the fifth dimensional mind doesn't live in the past or the future. It lives in the present and has the ability to create what it wants instantaneously and has a direct connection to the soul and what the soul wants. And this can be accomplished if you do the work to clean out the hard drive, get out all of the junk files, give yourself access to more RAM. This is what happens with my computer's overheating because I'm asking it to do a bunch of things at once, and so it gets upset. And you can hear the fan going on underneath it to try and cool it off. That's what's happening to us. The fan is going on, trying to cool off our brains because we got all this stimulation and all these feelings, and we do what we've known how to do. We focus on the past, we focus on problems, we create problems that don't exist. So check to see if any anxiety is coming from a current situation. Determine the original 3D lifetime wound causing the pain. I know exactly what mine is. My mother, when I was 5, she was my best friend. We were good buddies. And then at the age of 5, I started having fun with the neighborhood kids. And I started laughing and having fun. And one day she just turned on me while I was playing with the neighbors. And I was laughing. And she stormed out of the house and in front of my friends just spanked my bare bottom for no reason. It was very, very traumatizing. And so now I've been programmed to just know people are going to attack me for no reason. That's what goes on in my mind. You've got your own wound. So I know exactly where it goes back to. I know exactly where it started. And I know the other, triggers where it all started. So I know exactly where to go. And I do the work to heal myself, to love myself, and to forgive. You've got to do this too if you want to move beyond it. And the best way to do it is to do the 12 steps to 5D. You can find that in the playlists. Make sure not to project old wounds onto the present. This is really important. There's so many relationships get destroyed. Friendships, romantic relationships. When you start to get close, when you start to feel intimate, when somebody truly starts to see you and love you, it's very common to then project onto them old wounds. And this is, if you want to know what makes people with personality disorders like borderline personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, and the other, cluster B personality disorders, what makes them so dangerous is that they psychotically project onto the people around that love them. They project onto them that they have evil intent, and they will attack you. And this is what's happening again. People are attacking me, when the truth is I'm their best friend. I care about them the most, and I'm here to help them find their true path in life if they want my help in that regard. But they're afraid of that, and they're afraid of the intimacy. And this is what this energy is that's hitting the earth right now. These solar storms that are coming, and there's a few that just watch, the energy is going to intensify over the next few days. This energy is actually an energy of intimacy, true intimacy, true love, truly being seen for who you are. Again, I'm going to repeat myself. But this is important. What distinguishes a healthy child from an unhealthy child, among many other factors, but the main one is when the child is an infant, the mother rewards the child for simply being aware, being conscious and aware. That means every sensation the child has, the mother rewards the child for that. The child is crying because it's teething. The mother picks it up and rewards it, pats it on the back, kisses it, hugs it. The child is getting the message that they are valuable because they're having an experience. The child giggles. The mother giggles with the child and says, "Yay, good for you." The child poops. "Yay, good for you, you pooped." The child is angry and lashes out, and the mother picks it up and says, "Oh, are you in pain? It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be upset." A little 4-year-old, when they get to be 4 years old, I remember doing this. Little kids will look directly at mother and say, "I hate you." And mother will say, "You do? Well, that's okay. I still love you." They get rewarded every time they have a feeling, every time they have a sensation, every time that they just simply exist. They're just humans existing, and they're rewarded. Once they get past 4 and 5, then you have to start putting down boundaries, etc. But when they begin, when they're little kids and they're 5, 10 years old and they get disappointed, things don't happen the way they want, or people are mean to them, then they know that they have value because they remember that every time they were in pain, they were rewarded. It was okay. And then they learn how not to act out. They learn how not to have temper tantrums. They learn to forgive others because they do that to others. They say, that's okay, that person's in pain. That's all right. It has nothing to do with me. I love them and forgive them. But for the child who doesn't get that, the child who is punished every time that they have a personal experience. I'll give you something to cry about. You better wipe that frown off your face. And I got that myself lots of times. You beat the child when it has a feeling. You shame the child when it's sad, when it's in pain, when it's happy. I mean, I got my ass handed to me every time I'd accomplish something. It was so intimidating to my other family members that they would shame me for it. So that teaches you to find your value in how you treat others. In other words, your value comes from fixing other people, giving them what they want. And this is the world we live in, and that is not intimacy. It means that you believe your value comes from getting other people's approval. And you'll do all kinds of self-damaging things to do that. You'll damage other people in an attempt to get something you think will give you value. I'm a martial artist, but I have to say, prize fighters, I don't understand that. I don't understand getting your value going and consciously beating up somebody that isn't currently trying to harm you, and getting feeling good about it. Ronda Rousey, if you know her, the UFC champ a while back, when she lost, and she was no longer that, she said she wanted to kill herself because she said, who am I? What value do I have to the world? Who am I in the world? Her only value was that she could beat up other women. Lack of self-love, lack of allowing yourself to exist. Intimacy is being loved simply because you exist, and it is the most frightening state that third dimensional humans can live through, because it means that you have no control. It means that there's literally nothing you can do that will make you more lovable than you are right now. Not anything. There is nothing. Doesn't matter what you accomplish. It doesn't matter how much damage you cause. The universe will not stop loving you. The universe won't co-sign it. In other words, your frequency won't allow you to be in higher dimensional states where the beings of love exist. Your frequency won't allow you to go there, but the beings don't have any judgment on you. In fact, they have compassion for you, pity for you. And it's up to you to decide to shift forward. And this is what is happening right now. This energy hitting the earth is a wake-up call. It's time to let go of your attachments to who you think you are. It's time to let go of your control. Stop trying to control your emotions. Stop trying to control other people. Stop trying to control the world. You cannot be in a receptive state, allowing yourself to be loved when you're trying to control things. And living in a place where you don't have control, where you're literally out of control, is a very frightening place, and it's a very vulnerable feeling place, because then you don't have any defenses if somebody rejects you. You have nothing to fall back on. And to be in higher dimensions means that you completely surrender yourself to being loved by the universe. Do you understand why so many people want to believe in evil aliens? Why people want to believe in evil reptilians? Why people want to believe in false beings of light that trap you supposedly into reincarnation. It's for this very reason. Because if you believe in that, it justifies you seeking to control things and to tighten up around yourself and to protect yourself from the love of the universe. Again, just like somebody who has borderline personality disorder, what they want more than anything else is to be loved. And yet, when you give them love, they start to feel it, and it's so frightening to them because they know if they surrender to this love and you reject them just like their parents did, it will kill them. And they can't tolerate that. So what do? They literally go crazy, and they see in front of them this evil thing that isn't you, and they put it on you, and they attack you. Why do you think the dark force humans have been at war with extraterrestrials from the beginning? By the way, every single crashed UFO, and there are hundreds, if not thousands, since before World War II. Roswell wasn't a crash. It was a downed craft. It was warfare. Why do you think humans are doing that? Because the dark force people are the most narcissistic people. What does that mean? It means that they are the least capable of allowing themselves to be loved. So the way they get their value is by controlling and dominating and torturing and harming others. That's how they believe they get their energy. Of course, none of that is true. And they are incapable of allowing themselves to be loved because they have been so abused and so damaged. If they were to just for a moment open up and allow the universe to love them, it would be so devastatingly painful to mourn over all of the love they have not had. So what do? They target the beings that have the highest density of love, which are the ETs, the true extraterrestrials, the higher dimensional beings. They're coming here wanting to help us awaken, wanting to help us accept the love that is ours. And so the dark force people running the world have been at war. You have to be careful what you're hearing in the news right now. And it's very frustrating because there's so many ufologists who conflate and want to be half and half. They want to believe in the love of higher dimensional ETs, and at the same time they want to still believe that there are evil aliens that abduct you and torture you, which, by the way, they are, but they're humans. They're humans pretending to be aliens. They're not actual ETs. But people want to believe that, and they get angry with me when I give them the freedom, says, you don't have to worry about it. These beings that you're hearing about aren't extraterrestrial, they're humans. There really is a universe that is made completely 100% of unconditional love, and it is waiting for you. All you have to do is change your frequency to accept it. And I tell people that, and they want to fight with me. They want to hold on to the right to believe that false beings of light are trapping you, that they want to believe in this nonsense of reptilians coming down and torturing you and feeding off of you. And again, those are just humans. And don't get me wrong, there are things called demons. There are dark, evil entities, but they're from the second dimension. They're not from the fifth dimension. And humans are in the third dimension. Once you get above that, you go beyond all of that. So to shift to 5D means that you're going to walk away from all of that control, all of that fear, and all of that trying to justify your defensive posture with other people and with the universe. So as I'm saying all of this, I'm talking to myself because, again, my first instinct is to get into that defensive posture and start looking to how I can defend myself against those who are attacking me. That's what I learned how to do as a little kid. And so you have your defense mechanisms. Some people right now, they're feeling this energy and it makes them want to sleep all the time. There's some value to that because the human body needs to rest and recuperate. And if this energy is very intense, you're going to need to rest and let your body adjust to the energies. A way to overcome that, or help to overcome that, is to do the 90-day challenge, to do the Maoshan Qigong. That helps the nervous system and the energy meridians and your brain adjust to a higher frequency. But even if you're doing the practices, this is, if you're new to the Maoshan practices, one of the things that you may experience is you'll have a hard time getting out of bed in the morning. And it'd be like your body's really heavy. And what's happening is that your energy body is, for lack of a better word, it's sore. When you go to the gym and you lift weights, you wake up sore the next day, you know what's happening, that your muscles are recovering from the stress you put them under, and they're going to get stronger and bigger. Well, your energy body is the same. When you do the Maoshan practices, it expands your energy body. And if your energy body hasn't expanded to that degree before, then it'll feel really blissful, just like in the gym. You'll be all pumped, but then you'll wake up the next day and you can't get out of bed. And you're like, So you just got to breathe. You got to get some oxygen in there, breathe, get some chi flowing, some prana flowing through your system. So if you're doing the Maoshan practices, one of the things that you can do, the first thing when you wake up is to do some deep breathing. Breathe in, hold the breath for 3 seconds, exhale all the air out. Do that for 3 or 5 minutes and you'll see, all of a sudden you'll feel all of those, the energy body expand out again. So if you're getting hit with a lot of this energy and your first response is to get tired, is to want to stay in bed, part of that is that your energy body is struggling to compensate for the higher vibration. It is, what you'll find out is what your baseline resistance strategy is. I've already told you what mine is. Mine is to get in a defensive posture and start fighting back, start attacking. That's what I know how to do. That's, as a kid, that's how I learned how to survive. You may have another one. Some people get depressed, so they can't get out of bed. They can't find any hope. They can't look forward to anything. Not everybody is like me. Not everybody, when they get pushed, pushes back. A lot of people, when they get pushed, they contract inwards. So if you're one of those people, this higher dimensional energy is going to make you want to just stay in bed and sleep all day. Or it's going to make you not want to do anything. You're not going to want to go to work. You're not going to want to interact with people. You're just going to want to stay alone and isolate. Some people, it's just going to make them dissociate. They won't know what they're feeling. They'll just go to this dissociative state of kind of just flatlined emotions. They'll go through the day. Some people will become obsessive. They'll start wanting to clean the house 100 times, or they're going to, work twice as hard to make that much more money. They're going to focus on all the, how they can become rich, or, whatever it is, or they might obsess on their addictions. They might want to start drinking all day or smoking all day, or, porn, gambling sites, video games, whatever it is that their addiction is. You're going to respond however you're going to respond, and it'll show you what your root defense mechanism is. I know what mine is. That's clear. I think it's clear to everybody what mine is. Yours is going to be whatever yours is. And when you feel it, and if you know that you check to see if your anxiety is coming from anything current, it's not a projection. If there's a real issue there. But if there aren't any real issues happening in your present moment, then you know that what's happening is that this higher dimensional energy of love is hitting you. It's shifting you up, and it's trying to cleanse you of all of the old programming, which means that stuff comes to the surface and you feel it. and you're going to distort things. You're going to distort your reactions and your feelings. So if you sitting there and you don't know what the hell's going on and you don't know why you're so upset, it's just like when you're puking out bad fish. You know, it's just got to come up and it's got to come out. But it's an opportunity for you to stop and to listen to that and to shift that frequency. So the first thing you can do is focus on the things that you have gratitude for. All of your limbs are functioning, both of your eyes work, your heart is beating. Those are things to be grateful for. Then look for the other things. I mean, where you live, the people in your life, the things that you have, you know, you can always find something to be grateful for. Focus on that. Focus on what you want to create. In fact, I just realized today something I want to put into my 5D world that I hadn't thought about. Big, beautiful waterfall feature. I'm going to have that next to my temple complex. I'm going to go build that. Focus on what you want to create in your reality. Make sure not to project old wounds onto the present. Eliminate all activities that keep you in 3D and eliminate all destructive relationships. You're going to find out who's your friend and who's not. You're going to find out who's interested in you because of what you can do for them instead of who you are. You're going to find out the people that you're instrumentalizing and the people that you're using. And so now's the time to drop all of those dysfunctional, codependent relationships. And again, talk to somebody before you take actions on that. If you want to work with me, go to the thunderwizard.com website and subscribe to one of the apprenticeship options. You can work with me from 1 to 4 times a month. You can have a one-off session with me if you go to career.thunderwizard.com and scroll to the bottom and purchase a session with me. And if you want to ask me a question and have me make a video about your question, which is going to be helpful to other people, because other people are going to have that same question, go to askmike.thunderwizard.com and follow the instructions there. All right, so I was going to get to this part here, but I guess we just stayed here for today. We'll go through this. Continue with the 5 steps to 5D. And the 3 most important things to do, as I've said before, is to do something on the 3 playlists, the Maoshan Qigong, 12 steps to 5D, and the interdimensional meditation. Disengage from people's drama. This is something I'm doing. The drama hits me and I want to engage. I want to defend myself. I want to correct them. I want to help them. I want to educate them. I want to fight with them. Whatever it is that I want to do, I'm just disengaging. Whoops. Reward good behavior. It's really important that we start to tell the people around us that we love them, that we appreciate them. Start to give to other people what you want. Start to reward the positive behavior, and be open and honest and authentic with the people around you that you care about. Be authentic, loving, and direct. Live as though you are in 5D Earth. Walk around and start to remind yourself of who you are in the 5th dimension. If you don't know who you are in the 5th dimension, great. This is what interdimensional meditation is all about. When you get access to one of these higher dimensional beings, ask them. Say, can you show me who I am? Can you show me who I was before I came here? Can you show me my true divine self in higher dimensions? And if you're able to handle it, they will tell you. They'll show you. And then once you're not going to, I'll just tell you right off the bat, when they tell you who you are, you're not going to believe it. It's going to be, when you get back into your body, your brain is going to tell you that's not possible. You're losing your mind. You're deluded. You're making that up. But it is absolutely the truth. And if you are able to start integrating that new identity the divine, powerful, loving, amazing deity that you are. If you're able to remind yourself in the third dimension when you're getting hit with all this craziness, that remind yourself who you truly are. When you're walking down the street, see yourself that way. Keep reminding yourself. And make the decision to shift from this 3D limited identity of I'm nothing, I'm no good, I'm just this tiny little piece of garbage on this planet, and I'm either going to go to heaven or hell based on whether or not God loves me. You can throw that away and you can accept, no, I'm God. I'm a deity. I created this reality. I love myself and I love all other beings. And walk down the street with that and see how things change. People will start treating you differently. The universe will start responding to you differently. All right, I think I've walked through a lot of the stuff that I wanted to talk about, but I just wanted to, once again, help you understand that we are going into this, perhaps a higher shift of this solar flash event. Very quickly, again, what is the solar flash event? Solar flash event, based on my interactions and communications with higher dimensional beings, is already happening. It started specifically December 21st of 2022. December 21st of 2022, we got hit with the first of these solar storms that have within them higher radiation coming from the black hole at the center of our universe, or not universe, of our galaxy, which people call the galactic center. That energy has been coming to us more strongly throughout since December 21st, 2022. Every time we get hit with one of these massive solar storms that are happening from the Earth, from the sun, because the sun is going through a solar maximum, we get more and more of this energy. So I don't know how far we are through the process, but we're definitely shifting up a notch. And we're getting closer and closer to the final event, whatever that is. And at some point, based on what I've downloaded, and I don't need to be right about this, but based on everything that I've heard and experienced and researched, there's going to be a singular event culminating all of this. It's going to be something in the sky that everybody's going to see, everybody's going to feel it, and everybody will make a decision on whether or not they want to shift up or whether or not they want to stay where they are, which means shift down a level. And those who decide to stay here, you might have people you know. I'm quite certain there are people I know that will most likely stay behind. And what that means is that they have more lessons. By the way, it doesn't mean they have to. It's not their karma. Every single person on this planet can choose to shift up. So it's not like people will be excluded or won't be allowed to access the energy to shift. And it's not that some people's predetermined destiny is that they won't shift. Every single person can shift if they choose to. But some people won't. We say they're not ready. The truth is they're ready. Ready is whether or not you take the action. The way you know you're ready is because you chose to be ready. If you don't want to be ready, that's your choice. But that's the event. All right, I'm babbling, and I think I'm done babbling for the time being. If there are any questions, if you have any, you can put some down here on the chat, and I will answer it. But if you're watching this after we've recorded it, go here to askmike.thunderwizard.com if you want me to make a video about your question. And again, if you want to work with me directly, go to thunderwizard.com and sign up for one of the apprenticeship levels. And lastly, before I forget, if you want the most elite practices that I have available, I'm literally giving you, I don't know what it is, between $3,000 and $5,000 worth of video courses that also are certifications, that you can take these certifications and use them to create your own businesses. These are the things that I do, and I've been doing for years to make money, and I give you certifications for that. But the real gem is I'm giving you the most powerful, moving, energetic practices which download all of the 5 elements: ether, air, fire, water, earth. Wood, metal, fire, water, earth. You're actually creating portals to commune with those beings, because the 5 elements are beings. They're extremely powerful deities, and you can merge with them and become them, and it will give you a much faster track to higher dimensional awareness, and it will literally create portals to, I mean, just like the bat signal. You know, you want Batman to show up, you put the bat signal out and he shows up. When you do these practices, higher dimensional beings, even if you've never had one, it's the bat signal to them, and they go swooping down to see who is calling on them, who's creating a portal for them. And people do these practices and they talk about how they can feel that something in the room has changed, and that somebody, they can't see or feel, but they can feel the energy just slightly adjusting their postures, and things come into their mind. These are the higher dimensional beings that are coming to help you evolve. There's nothing more powerful. I haven't seen anything that even comes close. And you can get this here at 923.thunderwizard.com. All right, that's it. I was giving you guys time to write questions, and I don't see any, so I guess we're done. Waking up at 3 a.m. means that your body wants to meditate. So do the interdimensional meditation. That's probably the best time. Interdimensional meditation can be done at any time, but the best time to do interdimensional meditations are when the electromagnetic field of the earth is at its lowest, because it's the electromagnetic field that keeps us in the 3rd dimension. It's literally like a protective shield around the earth, but it keeps the 3rd dimensional frequency intact. And we are going through what's called an excursion event, where the electromagnetic poles of the earth are shifting around, and it's creating holes in the electromagnetic field. And that is why we're seeing more and more extraterrestrial activity. Not the garbage you're seeing on the news. That's humans making that up. But so the best time to do interdimensional meditation is at night. You know, sunset, late afternoon, sunset, those are good times. The electromagnetic field is shifting. When the sun is going down, the electromagnetic field is shifting. And of course, at night, all the way up until, you know, just before sunrise, the electromagnetic field is very amenable to allowing you to tap into higher dimensional beings. So those are good times to do it. Also, anytime that you're aware that you're getting hit with solar radiation, because that happens, the electromagnetic field weakens when there's a lot of solar energy hitting the earth. Those are good times to do interdimensional meditation as well. Erdwick, it's helpful if you write the word question in all caps so that I see it. You ask, how do you deal with strong resistance to one particular task when everything else is perfect energy-wise? So I've never once told anybody how to deal with feelings. So what you're really asking me is, how do you get rid of the feeling of resistance? How do you overcome it? And I've never told anybody to overcome anything. Because that's just denial. That never works. Whenever you try and deny or push down your feelings, they become stronger in your unconscious and they control you. So Erdwick, again, I'll say it again, the way that the brain shifts is through disciplined, consistent, repetitive actions. You get up every morning and you do your mantra. You get up every morning and you do yoga. This is why, you know, somebody wants to become a bodybuilder. They go to the gym 5-6 times a week. Repetitive, disciplined, consistent actions. Now, your first response is to say, yeah, but that's not easy for me to do. That doesn't feel good. I'm frightened. I'm lazy. You'll come up with all these reasons not to do it. And there isn't a way to get rid of those feelings. The thing to do is to just make the determination that you're going to take the action, and you do it one day at a time. You have one particular task. I don't know what that is. There's an assumption that you need to do that one particular task, and I don't know that you do. because you haven't said what it is. If it's you want to go to work making widgets at a factory, that may not be what your soul wants to do. If you're saying the one particular task is to get up at 4:30 in the morning and do your mantra and your meditation, I'm going to say that's a good thing to do. Not that you have to do that. I don't do that. I used to do that years ago. If it's doing the 90-day challenge and following that every day, that's a good thing to do. So I don't know what you mean by the one particular task. The assumption is that that one particular task is something that's going to give you value, and I don't know that that's true. So this is why it's good to really talk from your emotions when you ask questions and give me all the details, because, you know, I don't like it when people put their assumptions in my head, which is what you're doing. You're assuming that your one task is good for you, and I don't know that that's true. But that's how you do it. Consistently, you make the decision and you do it consistently, regardless of how you feel. My ancestors said those who die in battle go to Valhalla. There isn't anybody that wants to die in battle. There's nobody that thinks going to battle is fun. Nobody enjoys that. But when you're willing to take action in spite of your fear, in the presence of your fear, when you're willing to go after what you want, even though it might kill you, when you're willing to take action, even with all of your feelings, you will have success. So I'm not going to tell you to go ahead and deal with your strong resistance, because it's just an emotion. It's just a reaction. And whatever that resistance is cannot stop you from taking action unless you allow it to control you. But the great thing about disciplined, repetitive action is it becomes addictive. So for instance, one of the things that I do every day is I do interdimensional meditation every day. I'll either do it in the afternoon and or in the evening, but I'll at least do it once. And there have been, I can only count on one hand the amount of days that I've chosen not to do it. And the rest of the time, what happens is I go, you know, I don't think I'm going to do it today. And then I go, I'm just going to get it over with. Because I've been doing it every day for so long that the thought of not doing it is more uncomfortable than doing it. And so if you haven't started doing something, then it's really easy not to do it. But if you're doing it every day, it's really hard to not do it. Anyway, Zelo Watch, you're asking me a question about you. So why are you asking me what I would do? Why aren't you asking me about what you want to do? It's a very passive question. It's obvious that you want to destroy the world. Or if that's not what you're asking, then it's an even stranger question. So the real question is, you know, do you want to destroy the world? Are you afraid I'm going to destroy the world? The question is very strange. I'm assuming you're new to the channel, because if you've been around for a while, you know how to go deeper and be more authentic and present with your questions. But that question is strange because you're not revealing who you are in that. And so I'm not going to answer that, because if your question is about you wanting to destroy the world, or if your question is about you're afraid, I don't think you mean this, but the other way to look at it is that you think I'm so powerful that I can destroy the world. Why are you thinking that way? Why are you asking those questions? Welcome to the channel. I encourage you to watch more of the videos, but that question isn't really what you want to ask me. If you can get more authentic and more real from what your emotions, what you really want to ask me, I can help you. I don't think I can help you from that question. All right, Erdwick, thank you for being honest. So again, your assumption is university work. So your assumption is that you have to do university work. So you do mantras every day and you do energy work every day. And you're addicted to the energy work. So the real question is, should you be doing the university work? I don't know. I got nothing against, I mean, I spent 8 years in university. I have the equivalent of a master's in multiple things. I think education is an amazing thing, but I wanted to go there. And I only studied the things I wanted to study. I studied classics, history, philosophy, classical languages, literature. I also studied theater and drama. So I wanted to learn those things. I wasn't doing it, for some, superficial reason like getting a career or jobs or any of that most people go. When I was my first 4 years in college, I was a humanities classics major. And I was talking to a guy who was a business major. And he says, what's your major? And I told him, and he said, what the hell are you going to do with that? And I talked about this, I think, to my sister, and I said, this is what this guy said to me. And my sister said, what you're doing is what people used to go to college for. When the colonies here, as the United States was being founded, people would send their children off to university to learn philosophy, language, literature, because that made you well-rounded, so that you could then come back and be a person of authority in your hometown, in your state. This is what education was. And nowadays, universities are not what they were. They're not a place to learn. They're trade schools. You only go there so you can learn tasks so you can go make money. And, that is not a way to live. Going and making your world about getting some degree so you can get some job at some corporation working for, so that you can make money is not a way to live. And that way of living is going away. Especially when you see what's going on now in colleges. I mean, Dylan Mulvaney, the transgender guy who's, making all that stink, he's getting paid $40,000 to go and speak at universities, and the universities are paying him $40,000 to speak from student tuition money. This is what's going on. Universities are not what they were a long time ago and what they're meant to be. Universities are about brainwashing you to be a part of the collective, to be part of the workforce. So again, I got nothing against. I'm sure there's still some great stuff to learn in universities, but if you don't want to go, why are you going? If you don't have a desire, and again, I understand. The last couple of years of university for me were really tough. I didn't want to go anymore. I was done with it. But I'd been there so long, just getting my degree was worth it. It didn't mean anything. My degree had nothing to do with my ability to make money. Zero. But everything I do on my channel, if you read my books, by the way, if you're on my channel and you haven't read my books, what the hell are you doing here? If you go and read my books, especially the older ones, all of that university work is helping me to teach the things that I've taught. I understand what history is because I've studied history. Most people don't. I understand what critical thinking is because I studied critical thinking. Most people don't. So I've made use of all of that, but none of those things got me jobs anywhere. Anyway. It's the last of your essays. I mean, it's interesting how much energy that's taking up. You have so much resistance to finishing your last essay, which could mean all kinds of other things. Anyway, I don't want to get into that with you, but anyway, the answer is just to do it. That's it. You just do it. Arthur Renner says, I teleported my body in 2002 in front of witnesses in broad daylight. How can I teleport my body all the time? What are you asking me for? I've never done that. To my knowledge, I've never teleported my body. It makes me want to ask you all kinds of things. I mean, were you under the influence of anything at the time? Can you get those people to, can you get them on video to say that they really saw it? I don't know if what you're saying is true or not. I know that anything is possible. To stumble on that ability and then not know how to do it is an understandable thing. I've had those things. I've done similar things that were completely unbelievable, and then I didn't know how to repeat it. But what are you asking me for? How am I supposed to know? You're the one that did it. Dave Loki says, thank you. I think he's saying thank you. Yes, he is. I appreciate that. So Erdrick says, it's my last year and I'm almost finished. So this is your resistance. This is your self-sabotage. If it's really just about you getting your degree, then you're self-sabotaging. You're not wanting to become independent, and or you're afraid to go off because you're going to go and do some job you don't want to do. But there's probably a bunch of different things going on. If I give you the benefit of the doubt, and I assume that you're taking this college course because it's something you want to do, and you're wanting to get this degree because you want to do it, and you're wanting to start a career because you want to do it, then it's just as simple as the fear of growing up, the fear of being self-responsible, the fear, your desire to be accepted by others, your fear of putting yourself out there. It's just normal, growing up kind of stuff. So just do it. Just don't worry about it. Just do it. What you do is you set a time. You got a phone, you put the timer in. And you say, I'm going to do it at 3 o'clock, 3:30 today, and you just do it. And you can have all the resistance you want. Just don't let your resistance determine whether you do something or not. So you've got, you say, I agree with what you're saying. I never enjoyed it and felt forced to go just to finish my degree. I mean, if you want to walk away, then walk away. I got nothing against that. But you're obviously going to cause probably going to cause all kinds of drama with your parents. But you can do what a lot of people do. Just since you're almost finished with your degree, you say you are a business student. Well, I mean, unless you love business, unless you wake up every day and your soul says, oh my God, I want to sell widgets. Unless that's what you want to do. There's a Gen Z, you're a Gen Z, right? So there's a bunch of Gen Z, especially girls, that I'm seeing come up on YouTube feeds. How accurate this is, I don't know, but they're flipping out because they've gone to school. They've gotten a master's degree in business, marketing or something like that, and they get out and they find out they're not just being handed jobs, that they're being given opportunities to go and work as interns or something like that, and they're like, what? And they'll say, you don't have any experience. And they'll say, I've got 8 years of college experience. And then they find out that's meaningless. It's just theory. It doesn't mean anything. What companies want is, can you do it? Have you actually done it? And I look at them because the whole premise behind business school is you're just going to go and make money. I mean, the whole point of business school is making money. And I got nothing against making money, but, and again, people who want to go into marketing, like for example, they want to get a marketing degree. They're not thinking about, I am so stoked about this certain one type of product, and I want to learn everything there is to learn about marketing this product because it's so amazing. No, they'll market whatever the hell they're hired to market. So it's like being a prostitute, a corporation who's only about making money, and they sell a product. Obviously, the product isn't something people need and want because you have to sell it to them. So you have to create a whole division that actually goes and manipulates people into wanting whatever doodad you're selling. I mean, there's nothing about it that I find enjoyable. I've worked in sales before. I always ended up being number 2 salesman. Whenever I worked for a company and I was a salesman, I was always number 2. And for some reason, I was never number 1. I just but I hated it. And I can remember driving home. I'm wearing a tie. The most ridiculous clothes in the world, ties. What the hell is that? I mean, it's just a symbol of I'm an idiot and I'm working for somebody else. I have no value, so I put on this stupid tie. And I'm sitting in in my cubicle back when before cell phones, and you had to pick up the phone and dial. And I'm doing all that, and I'm selling stuff, and I'd make money. And the theory was that if I made X amount of money every day, I was a good person. I was a good boy. I was accomplishing things. I was, I had value. But after every day, I have a headache because I was forcing myself to sell shit to people they didn't need. And I would drive home as the sun was going down, and I'd drive past my local beach, and people would be out there surfing, and I would want to cry. Because I'd be like, man, those people lived today. Those people did something. They did something of value. And I just spent the entire day in a fucking cubicle wearing this monkey suit so that I could sell shit to people they didn't need. And I felt like just offing myself. I hated it. So I've never, if Erdwick, have you read my book, The Shamanic Secret Commandment to a Perfect Life? My suggestion to you is just go ahead and finish. Just get your degree and then make the decision if you want to do that. My dad had some good advice. My dad had his problems, but he had some good advice. And he told me about a friend that he had. My dad was a physicist. And he had a friend who was a brilliant physicist, and they both went to Caltech, and they both got their doctorate or something from Caltech. And so he talked about this other physicist that was brilliant, and he said that guy got his doctorate, and then he got a job as a truck driver. And he said the reason why he did that is because he wanted to spend all day thinking about chess moves. And so while he was driving across country for hours at a time, it gave him the ability to just work out all of his chess moves. And my dad had nothing but respect for that guy. And he says, that's all the guy does. He's just a truck driver. But, if he wants to, he could go get a job, as a physicist in all kinds of ways, but he's doing what he likes. And so he was telling me, stay in school, learn what you want to learn, and then do whatever you want after that. So Erdwick, get your degree and then just do whatever the hell you want. Go and, be a truck driver and think about chess moves. Unless what you want to do is sell people shit. If that's something you want to do, go right ahead. Dave Loki threw $10 at me. Thank you, sir. I can keep the lights on now. Thank you. You say, I just want to do mantras and focus on that stuff with a stable government job to pay for food. Well, there's an assumption. Who told you that a stable government job is going to make you happy? There are people that do mantras and don't have a stable government job. The assumption is you're going to need to placate the system to give you your money so that you can be yourself, and it won't work. You're walking towards pain. You're devaluing the whole assumption behind what you're doing is that you're worthless, you're a piece of crap, and the thing that gives you the greatest joy, you have to just do it on your own. You could become a mantra teacher. You could become a spiritual teacher. You could become a shaman. You could write books on mantras. You could take that same energy that you would put at some government job, stable government job, which means what? At least 40 hours a week. Think about the amount of energy that it's taking for you to just get through this. I mean, essay isn't a big deal. I mean, I can spit out an essay in no time without any effort, and so can you. So it's causing you problems. All the energy that you're putting into doing the fucking essay that you don't want to do. You don't think that in 5 years going to that government job that you don't want to do, you don't think that's going to take all of your energy out of you? You think you're then going to go and spend the 2 or 3 hours you have left during the day to do your energy work and mantras, that's going to pay you back? It doesn't work like that. You know, go read my book, The Shamanic Secret Commandment to a Perfect Life. Go get that. Read that. And live that, because you're doing the opposite of that right now. From what I can tell, I got no issue with you getting a degree, not getting a degree, getting a government job, not getting a government job. I don't need you to do anything. You're telling me you don't want to do it. And doing something you don't want to do because you want to be accepted and loved, and wanting to get a stable income from the government is wanting the government to love you. You think the government is your mother. This is you wanting mommy's love or daddy's approval. That's all that means. I make a decent living, and I only do what I want to do. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. Your parents wanted you to do it. Well, so go get the degree and then go do what you want. You're going to have to become your own person at some point. And it's very likely that you're going to upset your parents. They paid a lot of money to put you through college, it looks like. My parents put me through college, but I was grateful that my parents didn't care what I did as long as it was what I wanted to do. You know, I just don't think that your path is going to work for you. If you're only doing it to please your parents, which is, again, what a stable government job means. I want mommy's love for the rest of my life. I want to be seen as a good person for the rest of my life. It's going to destroy you. It's going to make you, it's not going to help you. And if your deepest desire is to do mantras and energy work, you're going in two directions. You're tearing yourself in two. You got to pick one. Unless you want to take all that business acumen and putting it into marketing spiritual practice books, you know, or video teachings, or, you know, I mean, you can take that knowledge. I mean, I take my sales knowledge and I use it. You can take that knowledge and put it towards creating the world that you want. But I think that your strategy right now is coming from your desire to get your mom and your dad's approval, and I think you're full of rage and anger, and that's why you don't want to finish your degree. I could be wrong, but we'd have to talk on it. We'd have to talk privately for me to find out more. But I recommend that you talk to somebody. All right, what else? Anything else? That's it then. Thank you guys for showing up, and I love you all. And, you know, Erdwick, again, don't take anything I say too seriously. Make sure that you talk to people you trust before you make any big decisions. And for those of you out there, again, you know what to do. You know what the places to go. My books, michaelwilliamdenny.com, or just click at the top of when you get to that website if you're in another country besides the US for Amazon, Kindle, and Audible. Thunderwizard.com, that's just the default. Go there, subscribe. If you don't like it, you can unsubscribe. Everything is laid out for you. Just simply follow the instructions. Become an apprentice if you want to work with me at thunderwizard.com. If you want to ask me a question, go to askmike.thunderwizard.com. If you want all of my stuff, including the most elite energy practice in history, go to 923.thunderwizard.com. That's it for me, my friends. I love you all. Thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate it. Keep doing the work. Don't give up. The shift is coming. Make the decision every day and just do it one day at a time. That's all we can do. All right, my friends, that's it. I will see you all next time. Take care.